Is this
Alan, my
Alan?
dog, what's happening?
Yo,
What you over eating oatmeal and shit? Or Wawa sandwich?
a turkey, bacon, and egg that I just put together real quick. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Real quick.
Very
Yeah,
crafty of you. Very crafty of you to make breakfast on a Sunday.
Saying
it's
just
better than me. I'll slide to go give me a sizzly real quick.
us.
Ooh, a Wawa Slizzy.
That clutch, man. When you need something to hold you over to lunch,
Not a bad deal. Yeah. I usually I'll do Wawa. I did not do Wawa this morning. I had leftovers from dinner I had with my mom on Friday. And it was like a flatbread situation. So I had one single piece of flatbread with coffee. I don't know if it's great for my stomach, but I feel wired. I'm gonna be fueled for the
you
Well,
episode.
yeah, you good for now. Till all meet each other, hang out for a little bit. Next thing you know, your stomach
It's,
doing a cha-cha slide, man.
it's 45 minutes from now, like suggestion. I gotta go to the bathroom. It's property Ebonics. Welcome to Proper Ebonics. Welcome to Proper Ebonics. Oh my goodness. And we have a special guest. We got a special guest today on Proper Ebonics. Give it up for Barry S Naylor in the building. Oh my goodness.
woo! Ba, 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 ba.
I wish I had dropped one of Clue's bombs. So that seems so fun when they do
That's
it.
that's a great thing about having a producer, such a producer, Pat. Producer Pat, if you could drop one of Clue's bombs for Barry S Naylor right there, that'd be
I
pretty
get a
cool.
I get a Clue's bomb.
Yeah, you get a clue on there. Yeah. Not a flex, you get a clue.
I'll
I didn't
take it.
even know we had clue bombs. I didn't even.
Truthfully, I don't know if Clue actually has bombs, but he has a signature on there. Producer
Let
Pat,
me
you
get
do
a
some research.
let me get a Who Kid bomb.
You want the underground bomb?
The underground. Who Kid.
And it makes sense that we're starting off talking about some of our favorite DJs and hip hop sort of things. This has been a very hip hop week. Some would say too hip hop. It's been too hip hop of a
Who
week.
said? Who said that? Who said it
Who
was two?
said that?
I said in my journal last night, I was like, this is going to become dangerously hip hop week. This is too hip hop for TV.
Dangerously hip hop week.
Dangerously hip hop.
I don't like that terminology.
Me neither.
This is
But it's
not
terrible
source
that's
of
happening.
this is far from source of words hip hop. Now that is dangerously hip hop. Ain't
I
nobody getting ain't nobody getting jumped in this.
I was writing in my journal that I pray no one gets stabbed with a butter knife. But I really don't want that to happen again. But I don't think we're in that territory
Again,
yet. It was Young
that's
Buck. Yeah, Young Buck. He stabbed someone with a butter knife at the Source Awards.
you know how pissed you gotta be to stab somebody with a butter knife? That means you had to have add extra aggression.
Yeah, and resource navigation.
Re-
That's where we're at right now with it, though. I feel like we're getting in a stabbing territory. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Before we set things up too much,
Okay.
because some of our listeners aren't as aware, sort of thing. We're currently in a prime hip hop beef. Bruce Pat, if you could play some prime hip hop beef music, very nice. Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. Originally, it was a triple threat. J. Cole's in the mix, but J. Cole bowed out. He said, "Nah, player, can't do this. Doesn't feel good for my soul." But Kendrick and Drake, they continue, and they've been going back to back. We're on like diss record number like 7 collectively. And have you two listened to
uh,
the records?
oh yeah, I played them all last night. Played them in
Oh,
order.
well, it's
I listened to all of them multiple times over and over and over again. But listen, listen, this is not turned up enough right here. What's up? Where you at with it, Kirk? Is it Drake or is it Kendrick? Where you at, bro? Like, what's
man,
going on?
I'm always on the side of peace. However, in terms of both of them, I gotta
You know,
say it's mixed. Drake is doing better than I think people anticipated. Drake is dropping some lyricism like the Family Matters when he came up that Friday night. Listen to that 7-minute track, 3-beat switch up, which is pretty cool. And he was saying some stuff and rhyming pretty heavy on there. Where like I think Drake's cool, but like a lot of times I think at least I underestimate his lyricism or well, maybe his ghostwriters. And he was dropping some stuff. Kendrick, on the other hand, though, to come out with an hour afterward and then drop his Meet the Grams. That was crazy. That was crazy, man. I'm not one for bringing in family members and making it over personal in that way. Because I even when it comes to like UFC stuff, when it comes to like family, I'm like, But since they're both entering that territory on their own will, I think Kendrick got the one up on that one. That said, Family Matters is the better song. I found that I've listened to that more times than Meet the Grams.
Okay. I don't know.
What do you?
This is terrible.
What are your thoughts?
Kendrick is killing this, man.
Really?
By the time that people hear this, it's probably gonna be like 20 more tracks Kendrick already dropped. This man's dropping tracks all over the place, man. He's destroying this man. Period.
He's Drake and Drake. He's back to back on Drake.
He's quadruple backing on this guy. It's not even close right now, bro. Like I don't even know. I just thought I thought you was gonna come with a Kendrick like on the same energy, but you kind of like Drake a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm surprised by it too. It's delightful.
What do you think, Barry? See the background. See the background.
This is a psychopath. And also, it started with Future, and Future got less bars out of anybody. Nobody has said anything about Future, and it was all on his song. Well, all the foolery started. I will agree. Now, this is all like a WWE storyline, hence why I'm all engaged in it, because somebody had to turn heel, and now it's like watching The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. Actually, I don't even give by no Hulk Hogan. Let's say The Rock versus Sting. We'll go with that. Or no, the Rock and Goldberg. We'll do that.
Damn, downgrading to Goldberg now? All right.
Yeah, we're gonna downgrade to Goldberg because everybody thought Goldberg was invincible, couldn't be beat. He was just running through people left and right, blah blah blah. And then you got a real star coming up, like all that other shit. Like, all right, that was cute, that was cool. The back-to-back stuff. Meek ain't. Sorry for the Philly guys. I know that's your man. I know that's y'all guy. That's y'all one. But when it comes to
guys and Diddy's guy, yes.
Well, yes. When it comes to
not the
I didn't say it. He did have a see-through shirt on this last weekend. That's y'all guy.
It was hot outside where he was at.
See-through? See-through? He ain't Jamaican.
Are we shaming? Do you know that? Do you know that?
Do you know that he is?
So you can't sit here and say, as an argument, though, you can't say he ain't Jamaican if neither one of us know. You know what I'm saying?
Well, go on, Meek.
No, this is how I do know. Because Jamaicans always let you know that they're Jamaican.
It's
true.
I have not heard a bumbleclot out of him yet.
There's been no shots of Kingston for Meek Mill.
Yeah, I mean, there.
All right. So,
go ahead. Continue.
But yeah, he ain't no like, I mean, when he did like the battle rap thing, cool. But when it comes to like songs where you need to just rap, he dropped the ball. And we've been waiting for Drake to get his ass whooped since then. And now, they've been like jabbing at each other for a long time, and it's finally time to rap. I didn't know this dude was the psychopathic Pulitzer Prize rapper that he. This shit. Cool. Dropped it like that. Cool. All right. Then everybody was waiting for Drake dropped what was first?
Yeah, what was the first one?
Push-ups.
Push-up, yeah.
Yeah. You talking about his shoe size? He's short. All right. Look, that's like a comedian doing that joke.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
doing some crowd work on
the
beat.
Like, that's all you got. Like, bro, you better do something. Then he dropped the tailor-made freestyle. This is where he messed up. If you know anybody from Cali ride for each other.
Mm-hmm.
There are a unified front. You can't use Tupac voice as a Canadian. And Snoop alive.
Yeah.
Snoop is alive.
Snoop's listening to this like, when did I do this?
So you, a guy from Canada, think that you have the authority to use Tupac voice and a live Snoop's voice on a track against the number one guy from Cali right now. Had you used it on the game, cool. Probably would have let it slide.
It was in the game. That's funny. Well, I know because the game he would have just been a bunch of name dropping. I think it wasn't really. I didn't really rock with it too much. However, in terms of innovation in hip hop beef, I was like, oh, tapping into AI, people talking about and all that stuff.
He got too big for his britches. He should have left that track alone. Because then, if you go back and listen to Taylor Made, he started talking a whole bunch of shit at the end. Where you at? I know you're in New York in your apartment doing lyric, blah, blah, blah. Where you at? You need to go ahead and drop. Don't egg this man on. You always leave the quiet ones alone.
I wonder how much both of them anticipated that they had stuff locked and loaded. It feels very much like Drake was aware that Kendrick was going to have things, and Kendrick was super aware that Drake had like a catalog ready for him. I feel like this is one of the first times in hip hop where we've seen true back to back within 30 minutes of each other, ready to release a diss record.
And nobody predicted he was going to drop that shit an hour later. You can't have a song called Family Matters, and then he put out a song an hour later and lined your entire family up. Everybody in his family got a verse.
Disrespectful.
I had my hand over my mouth while I was listening to it for the first time. I was like, oh my God.
To that horror movie beat, it sounded like the Reaper was coming. The first thing he said was, "Dear Adonis." Bruh, what am I listening to? He wrote a verse to your son, and then tell your son, you're not going to understand this now, but when you turn 18, play this song again. This song is going to last. How old is this little boy? How old is Powder?
Under 10, Powder. Oh my goodness. Under 10 years old, it seems like.
Right. So he got some time. It's going to age, and it's going to get worse. Even if they piece it up after this, which I doubt, the song is still there. Then from there, he went to his mama, lined his mama up, then went to his dad and was like, hey, your son is using you to get accepted by his black friends. Then he went to his alleged daughter. We don't even know if she's for real.
I've heard, but it sounds he's a daughter. Yeah.
But it sounds like she is.
He ran out of family members. He was like, I got to come up with some new ones.
And then he lined Drake up. He said, fuck a rap battle. This is a long-term battle with yourself. And then ended the song. Yeah. Bruh. And then everybody was like, Kendrick can't make no song for everybody to dance to. This dude just dropped a summer banger to DJ Mustard. Mustard on the beat, ho.
What was that new one that he just came up with? Because he came up with one like last night.
Right? Not Like Us. That's the DJ Mustard song. People are about to be crip walking to a song about a pedophile. Bruh. It's the culture vulture. It's to get the culture vulture anthem for the summer, bruh. And then he did a Black History lesson. He dropped the history lesson on Atlanta, which is crazy because I was just in Atlanta, and I got the history lesson about the Beltline. Everybody was like, "This is where all the trains used to come in." So I just learned about it myself. Then I come back and I hear it in the song. I'm like, I just learned this shit. So I'm like, he's killing this guy.
Yeah, Kendrick, man. I've only listened to that one once. I saw the thumbnail of it. Apparently, it's of Drake's home, and it was allegedly taken from a Predator website. And the flags on it that you see is pretty much a signal of like who may be an offender. I don't know if that's doctor or not, but that's a pretty big thing. We've been hearing that a lot about Drake recently, about like talking to the minors and such. I feel like if that is a real thing, it's kind of a wild, like, don't get in a rap battle.
It is a real thing, Kirk. It's a real thing. It's on camera.
There's footage.
Yes.
And interviews.
Yeah. Like there's bars and songs about it. It talks about it. There's people, there's like it's like known in the industry. Just like, it's
the girl,
like him being peed on. It's kind of been known in the industry that he's been pissing. Yeah, man. Meek Ben said this when Meek was battling Drake. That's when that first came out. That T.I. homie pissed on Drake.
Yeah, by mistake or
no? You don't piss on nobody by accident.
It don't even matter. That don't even matter. You don't go. Oh, sorry. No, something gotta happen to you. I don't care if it's an accident.
Hey, Kirk, you ever been pissed on by accident?
Not by accident.
Yeah, I'm punching babies that pee on me, bro.
Yeah, you gotta go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty big thing. I didn't know that there was like footage of stuff.
Why is your dick out and near somebody when you got to piss? Why is your dick out? Somebody pissed on him on purpose.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if it was like a lady sort of thing.
Why didn't he move? Like
I'm fine. I'm trying to refrain from referring to the Boondocks. It's I get out the way. But yeah, no, it is very hard to be accidentally peed on. That's a pretty crazy thing. But I didn't know this was all public knowledge, regardless of the pee. But the whole pedophilia situation, I feel like when you're entering a rap beef, you're very much like, okay, well, there may be a lot of ammo that's be aimed towards my way. Pedophilia is a pretty big one, and and to be further exposed to that, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, if it's not true, you could kind of go about your business, but if it is true, you kind of want to maybe stray away from being in the limelight of getting into a rap beef where they're going to recall it out even more.
There's a few things you have to take, like you said, it may be true, it may be false, but the fact that if it's true or false, or maybe, the maybe is what gets your ass. Because if any inkling that it might be, automatically is going to be assumed yes. Because you got the girl from Stranger Things.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Who said her and Drake be just texting randomly. This is while she was 11. Not playing not to be confused with the character in Stranger Things. See what I did there?
I did. But, I appreciate it. Yes.
Well, thank you. But yeah, so there's that story. Then people, and Twitter has all the receipts. Somebody posted they were turning 18. Drake in the comments, I've been waiting. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Goodness. Twitter's gonna eat you up.
That's a wild thing to say.
And also, we need to take in consideration rap beef these days is not just about the bars. It's about the jokes that come with the bars. The timeline has been hilarious this last, month or two?
Yeah, I feel like that is a very big component of it. Like and some of it's out of the artist's control, but you're aware that it's going to be the commentary that the song brings as well. What kind of memes it's producing, what sort of line you said that could have it targeted towards the other artists that you're going for. And that's a big one in public, public opinion.
Killing him. I've never seen a massacre like this. I thought Pusha T verse was bad.
That was the one thing that I noted. So Drake, I guess in the Family Matters, he calls out Kendrick of like, oh, you don't pose with your son. You're afraid of saying cheese. I guess the kind of seemed like a contradiction because the whole thing with Pusha T was Drake not really bringing out his kid as much. So I thought that was kind of an interesting line to kind of, because ever since the Pusha T line, he's bringing his kid out more and more. So Pusha T kind of almost changed how he navigated having a son in the limelight, which I think is pretty impactful.
Right. But we know Kendrick got kids. We didn't know about Drake's.
What Drake was saying in that line, though, Kirk, he was saying that he didn't want to hug his kid and pick his kid up because the kid is mixed with some white, because I guess his baby mom is biracial, which I'm not sure. Like, she is something, but I'm not sure where her.
I thought she was like Mexican or something. Either way, I don't know.
She's something. I mean, so I guess he was saying that's why he didn't want to pick up his kid or something like that. Like,
what do you think of the line? It was a very short one, but Drake said something like, "Kendrick just opened his mouth. Someone get him a Grammy." I thought that was a nice little humorous line. That's like a humorous, like, without just saying like F you. It's like, oh yeah, every time you open your mouth, we're just going to award you with stuff. I thought that was a good line.
Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised. That's why I was surprised when you said and then you only listen to Meet the Grams one time.
Yeah, I think I've also like
wild. That's wild.
I know some other lines from it, sort of thing like that, but I've listened to Family Matters maybe like twice now. It's a lot to digest. There's been a lot, like even down to Euphoria and everything that came out after. It's like I have to find time for it.
You know what it is? I forget you have a life, so that's what I got to remember.
I try to put this in my life, though. Hip hop's important for me and all that stuff. But yeah, it's still like when I'm playing UFC, I'm like, all right, well, I'll put the headphones on. I'll listen to Family Matters. I almost lost a round for some of the stuff they were saying. It was crazy out there.
Yeah, you can't like do productive stuff and try to listen to this rap battle. You got to just cut everything off You just gotta, like, if you're going somewhere, play it in the car.
Now, Barry, you mentioned this is one of the craziest battles that you've seen. Can we, as a group, think of other battles that has maybe topped this or has been felt more impactful? Or is this truly one of the more impactful hip hop beefs that we're living through right now?
For clarification, I'm saying this is one of the wildest ones because of how much music is wild, because of how much music we're getting in a short time period, and it's all like quality.
Yeah, great.
Like,
they rapping.
You couldn't put music out like this 20
Not
years.
at all.
You know what I mean? Back in the day, like they can just upload on YouTube whenever they want. Like,
he went to the booth that day.
Well, I think
had the beat. It's like a producer has the beat already and has like, hey, take this one. He's like, bet, go to booth, knock out 3 verses. You know how crazy it is to knock out a banger in a day like this? When you hear Not Like Us, that's a banger.
Yeah.
And it's a response to whatever just dropped like a couple days before.
Yeah, kind of have it like a little stocked up sort of thing like that. Because
like Alan said, you had to wait like months for somebody to get a reply. Like you heard Ether, and then you had to wait till Takeover. No, Takeover.
Takeover.
Then you had to wait. Yeah. Then,
so
then you had to hear Blueprint 2.
Yeah, so it was like, so Takeover was like Blueprint 1, and then like Stillmatic came out like, I want to say like months after.
Yeah.
And then that's where he's able to dress, and then like even after that, then it's like Super Ugly comes out like months after. You can't just drop things like that.
They had to sit with that verse for a while.
The mental energy.
Yeah, you had to sit with it, and then
But this was what Kendrick doing, right? Because I know he's great, right? But I think I'm not gonna say he's not great enough to do what he's doing like sporadically, but I'm very sure it's mapped out. Like I'm pretty sure he had, because I heard that the one beat, what song was it? So many songs I forget.
616 in LA.
No. Meet the Grams, that beat. Alchemist made that beat. But
yes.
But he didn't make it like for this beef. He had the beat. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think he just was like, all right, I'm gonna probably flow like I'm gonna just, if you look at, because like Meet the Grams wasn't a direct response to the track that Drake just put out. It was like it was already made. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like he just unprivated the video, and then it was like boom. You know what I mean?
Like 30 minutes after Family Matters too. It was crazy.
Which is wild. So let's go back to Euphoria. He was like, I can predict your angles. And you paying money to try to find some dirt. Same thing that happened with Push. Like, people know. Like, and like you said, just make the video public. It just happened that you dropped that song to call Family Matters. And like, I got a song about family too. It's like, bro, I'm waiting for you. It's like it's
very like chess move right there.
What has happened? We've never seen this before.
Yeah, it's definitely unprecedented that way. I think of like favorite hip hop beefs. I think of Cannabis. Yeah, that was a cool, entertaining one, but it was very one-sided. And like
it's not even over yet.
I know, it's all going. But like Ja was so Ja entered the territory of started mentioning family members. And for me, every time, like whenever you go into like kind of below the belt, that's usually a sign of like, oh, okay, well maybe you're doing last ditch efforts. But within this beef, it's different because they're both in the prime of what they're saying and the height of their lyricism in terms of like the beef, and they're bringing family members. Usually though, that's a sign that it's like kind of going down, and Ja Rule, that was the case for him. I think he mentioned like Eminem's daughter or something like that.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, it was the hardest line of the song, I remember, but it was just like, oh, it was one of those like, oh my goodness moments. And now we're seeing constant oh my goodness moments, whole songs of oh my goodness. That should be the name of the next song. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's a lot of that.
People need to learn how to read the room. Like as comedians, we know how to read the room. Rappers, I don't think they like. Yes, be confident in your ability as a rapper, but at the same time, you got to know crazy when you see it. Certain people you just don't. I would never. Eminem. No.
Yeah, that's
no, can't sing your way out of that one, Josh.
Well, I'm curious with this one, Barry. It sounds like you're a hip hop fan as well. We're a hip hop podcast. Will we classify ourselves strictly as a hip hop podcast? I feel like we're so many different things. Hip hop podcasts, comedy podcasts, magic podcasts.
We don't have a classification. We just come on here and talk.
I guess that's true too. I do like the idea of us being a book podcast. I'm going to change the iTunes and Spotify. If like you're looking for some literature podcasts, listen to proper.
And then we get on here talking about Drake and Kendrick. And then
Dostoevsky and Drake. Yeah, that's. But with hip hop, man, like Barry. So, what are some? Well, first off, I feel like we didn't really give you like a proper introduction. Barry's a comedian out here. I don't want to restrict you just to Pennsylvania. You're all over the place, man. I see you're hopping. You're from comedian of the plains.
I will, because y'all represent where y'all from. But when y'all represent where y'all from, it just sounds cool. You know, Adam's like, yeah, I'm from Philly. And I was like, big cities get love when they say where they're from. I'm from a place where you just got to say the whole state, because ain't nobody going to say like, oh, I know exactly where it is. I'm from a town called Edgefield, South Carolina. Exactly. Only person from there is Strom Thurmond.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Right. Fuck him. No, fuck him.
Shout out to him.
No, so I got to say I'm from South Carolina, but then, to clarify. But yeah, I'm from South Carolina.
South Carolina, but like you're performing all over the East Coast. Such I see you do a lot of stuff in Pennsylvania. I see you do a lot of stuff in Florida. I see you do a lot of stuff like down south and all that stuff, man. You've been doing comedy for a minute, man. You've been out here.
People like to laugh at all them places, so I got to get there. I seen people do more with less. So I'm like, all right, if I see other people doing it, that means it can be done, and that means I need to get off my behind and find a way to make that joint happen. So that's how I look at it. My peers inspire me. So Spunky Robinson from Florida, I remember Spunky used to just be everywhere, but Spunky would just drop dates, and I'm like, I know Spunky lived in like Florida, or Spunky like in Mississippi at one point, but Spunky's stuff would be everywhere. It was at California, Portland, Oregon, Seattle. I'm like, damn. Spunky would hop on the bus and go to these places. I'm like, bruh, all right, let me get my behind up and start trying to figure this junk out. So I'm like, all right, bet. Comedian here, you got a room? Hey, I'm funny. You mind if I get a few minutes? Cool. Bam, I'm there. So next thing you know, just made it happen.
It's crazy because I actually ran into Barry in just multiple different states. Randomly. I will always hear about Alan's name. I would hear Alan's name. They're like, oh, Alan Massenberg. I would see his name, but I never met him. So when I would see like people I'm cool with posting Alan. So I'm like, all right, because on the road, eventually you're gonna bump into somebody. So if somebody, doing the work, you're gonna run into them. And we were at Soul Joe's, I think it was. Yeah, it was Soul Joe's.
Right. Yeah. So I finally got to chop it up with him. And we was like, bet, so a little quick. Next thing you know, once you bump into somebody the second time, like, all right. Then from there, that's when you become cool, especially when you're funny, because comedians don't like unfunny comedians. Can I say that on here? It's the truth.
It's our slogan, yes.
Comedians meet you off rip, and it's like, I gotta feel you out. You get up there and you be funny. All right, then you cool, because you want to meet a comedian and the shit like terrible and like, ugh.
I refuse to shake your hand after that sets.
Yeah, don't ask me how you said when if you bomb, bro. I'm like, you already know. Like, you ain't gonna ask my opinion.
Be like, yo, they didn't like you, dog.
Like, get them next time, player. If there is one,
get them next time.
Get them next time.
When you talk about like traveling, doing just comedy in different spots, I was curious, just like in terms of the balance for that, of like a lot of flying, different spots, and some comics like they have like different jobs that they do outside of comedy and all that. What is that experience like for you in terms of balancing like the flights and going into different territory?
Always fly on Tuesday. You gotta find, it's like that's another finesse. You gotta figure out the cheapest way to get there, because if the people ain't paying for it, that means I gotta pay. So I'm gonna find a cheap flight to get there. The motto I have is there's always a way. If it's within like a few hours, I can drive there. If it's somewhere I can go on the train or a bus. That's what I like about up north, because y'all got a lot of modes of transportation. I can hop on the train, I can hop on the bus to get where I need to be, and it don't cost much. Flying, I'm not too good for Spirit of Frontier. I found another one, a Velo, Avelo. Yes, you get you to like some of those smaller places that you ain't know about, and then get you there on time. It's like Spirit of Frontier that actually cared about themselves. I'm telling y'all, use that one.
We have to make note of that in Velo.
Barry being Wilmington.
Yeah, slide right to Wilmington, and I made it to Greenville, or I can go to Myrtle Beach. I'm like, oh, bet you can just find some place to fly real quick for the low.
Yeah. Listen, you book them flights earlier in advance, bro. I'd be like $60 to $61 round trip. Oh yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
Yes, in a book bag.
That's all you need.
In a book bag. If I'm going someplace that got a Target, I'm straight,
bro. I don't care if I'm on Spirit. I'm rocking with Spirit, bro. I'm on there.
To check any bags, it's fine. If I have all my belongings on me, I'm like, all right, that's a little more doable.
If y'all want to fight on the plane, go ahead. I'm back here chilling. As long as I get to my destination on time. I don't care what y'all do.
It's count that as one of the credits on there. It's like, you've seen me on World Star Hip Hop sitting in B12 as there's been 2 pregnant ladies fighting over. Look,
that's just another joke for me to write about on the way down. I'm good.
Yeah,
but yeah, just so I'm like a substitute teacher, so it's like, you know, they don't really care about me enough. They only care when I take off a lot of days. I mean, they hate when they know I'm a comedian, and they love that I'm a comedian until I'm on break. And I'm like, all right, I gotta run. And they're like, oh, must be nice. Yes, bitch, it is. That's why I got this job. Because y'all don't need me every day. Y'all mad at me and I'm the substitute teacher. Y'all need to be mad at the teachers that ain't coming to work.
I think it's interesting that I know so many comedians that are also teachers, right?
Yeah.
But then like society also knows some of the most fucked up people are comedians.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like some of the most fucked up people are teachers, then pretty much what you're saying.
There's no filtering.
Oh yeah, I know some. No, just the teachers are them the wildest people. I've seen some comedians do some wild shit, but the teachers that aren't comedians, they get busy. They get down.
I feel like it's teachers and nurses and comedians. Some wild individuals.
Hey, bro, if you deal with a room full of kids all day that call you a bitch and up as the lightest then yeah, I understand why happy hour exists.
It's a lot of those with that, man. It sounds like you're pretty transparent with your job of the substitute side of like, oh yeah, like I do comedy. I feel like there's people that like kind of they keep separate lives where it's like, okay, I do this, and then at nighttime I do that. But with your job, it sounds like you let them know.
Oh, Kirk is describing himself right now. But go ahead.
I am describing myself. Yes.
Yeah, I let them know from jump, because when I got the job, I like to let you know there's gonna be some days I ain't here, and this is why. So before my old job, when I used to work at like T-Mobile, I would keep it separate to a sense. I would like tell a few people. Right. So like some people on my team, I would tell them only because I would like run jokes by them, and I didn't want to hear my people that I work with talk about them at the show. But now I'm like, I'm gonna tell everybody, hey, I got a show coming up, because it's also ticket sales too. Once again, I ain't gonna turn the money down. Like, hey, if I done flipped 50 tickets before just off the school.
I've seen your coworkers at multiple shows I've seen you at.
Exactly. So, and I talk about them, which is crazy. So, as long as you understand that balance, we good.
I'm curious of like and this speaks for you too, Alan, because I've seen coworkers or former coworkers come out to shows. What is it like for you both when you have coworkers? Like, what in terms of performing for coworkers, does it add an extra level of performance anxiety, or is it just like, oh yeah, if they're there sort of thing? What is that like for both of you?
Fuck them.
Well, damn.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm about to say those exact same words too. Like,
damn.
Oh yeah, I'm not thinking about that's not my concern, bro. Like once you start thinking about all the extra stuff outside of comedy, you're losing your comedy. Like I can't be worried about what other people think. That's why I have my kids at the show. I don't care. This is my set. If it don't work, it don't work. I gotta change it if I don't feel comfortable doing it. Like I'm not like
because at one of these days, I'm not gonna be working there.
Right.
So why I'm gonna sacrifice my joke? No. I gotta be me on stage. I'm not clocked in right now. This ain't Mr. Barry on stage. This is me. This is Barry S Naylor on stage. So this is what the fuck y'all gonna get. And I tell them before they even come to a show, I'm like, y'all ain't gonna hear Mr. Barry on stage. Mr. Barry is a fake character that only lasts until 3:00. 3:01, fuck everybody here. The kids tell me goodbye when I'm walking past the buses. I don't know you. It is after 3:00. Leave me alone. I hate hearing, "Hey, Mr. Barry," after 3:00. I was going to my neighbor's crib to go smoke weed. And while walking there, I heard, "Hey, Mr. Barry." I'm like, who is saying this shit? It's late at night. One of my kids must live down the street, and he was out there with his family, and they saw me walking by. I'm like, I got an eighth in my pocket.
It's a potential customer.
In the future, be nice to your students, because everybody not going to be a doctor or lawyer. Some people going to be selling drugs. And one thing I'm not above is a discount. Give me that favorite teacher discount. Mr. Barry, I got an A. Hey, you know what? You was always good at math, Joey.
Remember I gave you an A? Let me get a discount, buddy.
I had a different experience from you both. Seems like I don't know, I've mentioned this to you in the past, sort of thing, but maybe like a month or so ago, my manager, she saw my name on a flyer, and then she texted me like, "Is this you?" And I was like, "Oh goodness," and the anxiety rose a little bit. And then she came to the show, and I was very aware that she was going to be in the audience. And for me, in a way, it heightened the performance, because it was very much like, it wasn't like, "Oh, I'm going to tailor this just for you," but like, I'm aware that like my life over here is going to be mixing in my life over here. So that was something I was conscious of, and it's cool to hear that when you don't have any of that. I will say on my end, it did heighten it though, just the way how my brain works, of like, okay, well, I want to, regardless, I want to have a good performance, but like, I especially want to have a good performance here. And that level of anxiety, it made me work on a different cylinder, if that makes any sense.
I understand that, and I agree. At the same time, think at it from this perspective. You got 100 people in the room that came to see you perform, and one of them, you worried about one person. You taking away the experience of 99 other people to experience how you are on stage for real. So you just got to be you at all times. Fuck that one person. They'll get over it.
Yeah, no, most definitely that. You don't want to just do it just for them. That's the one thing too. Like, you could address it. Like, I mean, a joke like, "Hey man, my income depends on this." But like, you could address it, but like, it's still, after that, it's like, this is for the room. And when you're making a whole room laugh, it's like, it's hard to deny, sort of thing. Like, all right, it's like the whole room is in on it.
The smartest thing you can do is address it. The reason being, because once you address it, now everybody's on your side, and they understanding where you're coming from, why you did it. So now that they're relating to you. So once everybody's relating to you, then you got them.
Yeah, that helps.
And then they become, and they love you more once you bring them into your world. Yeah. So
this is the mind of Kirk, everyone. Oh yes,
exactly. And then they're going to come back because they feel like they, connected with you. Audience love connecting with them. Everybody want to connect with somebody. Like, come on, let's connect, bitches. Come on.
I'm gonna open up that one. I want to break you guys off the situation I'm going into. It kind of ties into the two topics we're talking about. I'll be flying out to Texas for a work thing on this week, and then I've been added to a show on Tuesday, and it's supposed to be like a whole. We go there to meet the team and connect with the team. That's the whole purpose of this whole like flying out there. And I haven't brought it up to any of them. Like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna have to dip out. I'm doing a show." And then it's going to be like, I'm anticipating that they're going to want to come to the show. And I'm a little on the fence of whether or not I just kind of dip out or I include them in on it. I feel like I know what you two would do.
Well, you talk about our balance. What do you do?
So that's the thing. I'm not fully sure. For me, I would, if you ask me right now, I would prefer to do the show. And also, it's like, I'm seeing friends. Shout out to Lemaire and Nate and all them and all that stuff. I'm seeing them, and it's like, I kind of want to hang with them. and then the rest of it's gonna be work stuff. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, the coworkers get to see me do my thing. They get to get that experience out of it as well. They're gonna enjoy the show. But
no, I mean, like, what do you do as far as work for that balance that I've said I'm a substitute teacher. What do you do?
I'm an analyst for a company. Producer Pat, if you could blank that out.
Do they know? Does your team know?
They knew after that my manager came to the thing. She like brought up pictures. She's like, Kirk, can I share your secret? And I was like, and then before I could really answer, she brought up photos of me doing this. So yeah, they know now. But some of them knew though, but they like no. But yeah,
man, you better tell them about your show.
Hey, it's deeper than this Texas show. You guys stop worrying about that. What you want, bro? Don't worry about getting fired. They can't fire you. You ain't do nothing wrong. You're allowed to be a comedian at night, bro. Don't let it bother you, man. It's
you ain't logged in while you on stage.
You allowed to do this.
There was one time where I did have my work phone on me no, I'm joking. But like it's, for this next impression, I gotta get back to
it's not like your camera's off and you just doing a whole set while you're supposed to be in a meeting.
Yeah, right. Well, no, I'm trying to get more and more into that comfort space. Admittedly, I do like the dichotomy. I do like kind of like the separation of the two. But when it comes to like the idea of like, oh, I don't want to go out there and hide that I'm doing a show. That's just something I don't want to have for myself, and I don't think I can naturally do. So yeah, who knows? The team, a lot of them are new to. I'm meeting them for the first time. They may come out to the show and they're gonna have a gay old time. We'll see.
I'm gonna tell
you. Show with Lemaire now.
Lemaire and them, man. I originally just hit up Lemaire.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know. Yeah, well, I think they'll get a joy out of that. Yeah, I hit him up. I was like, oh, well, if you're around, sort of thing like that, even if it's just like get a drink, or go to the mic or something like that. And yeah, he was like, oh, we happen to be doing a show on Tuesday. Come through. So yeah, I'm gonna do it. It makes me excited to see them.
Man, go, because like I said, once you ain't working at that job no more, you still got a fan base there, and people gonna come see you. Even still,
right?
It works out better that way because they know you do comedy. When you ain't there no more, they always gonna be happy that you went to go pursue your dream. So when you spin the block and come back, they're like, "Oh, I used to work with him." They're gonna tell their people, "Oh, such and such is in town. I need to go see him." My old boss popped up when I did my show in Tampa. I have not seen this lady in. I worked in that bitch in like 7 years. She popped up out of nowhere. I walk in the venue. She got up from her table, came over to let me know that she was there. The whole time I was doing comedy while I was working at T-Mobile. This motherfucker ain't never come to a show. And I'm thinking, oh, this don't rock with me like that. She was like, I saw your face on the flyer. And I was like, I have to come.
Oh.
Because I heard that you're funny. I'm like, bro, look, tell them people you got a show, bro. They can't do shit. They ain't, like you said, they ain't your boss. Your boss done came already. Your boss think you hilarious because she done told everybody else. So what's your coworker gonna do? Man, tell them people.
I think I'm gonna tell the people. I like to think I'm a person of the people and all that stuff. I have the shirt that says it. I think I'm gonna tell the people. I think they're gonna know about it. Yeah.
Yeah, walk in your purpose always.
I guess it's just a matter of determining the purpose.
And also, fuck them.
Yeah, that part too.
Yeah. They'll be all right. That's the motto. Fuck them. They'll be all right.
With them, man, I think
it's an African American proverb.
I think I gotta get the banner right there. We're selling bumper stickers after this. I think this is a good opportunity. We're talking about aspirations and such. Alan, I don't know how you feel about this. You want to get in some goals?
Okay, we can do some goals.
Let's get some goals. Oh my goodness, yeah. Your boy likes to dabble in the literature and all that stuff. Sometimes the books can be a little bit too long. You're not sure what it's going to be. A lot of time consumption. For my goal, I'm going to try to finish The Idiot by Dostoevsky. I didn't read the page count. It's a thick one. But the goal, though, because sometimes with those sorts of things, you could kind of like read them, then it's like stalled for a bit. The goal is to read at least 3 pages per day. You could exceed the 3 pages. But the goal, though, 3 pages per day. and hopefully have it done by midsummer. So that's going to be the goal.
Is that
Ain't no
a
pictures in that book, I can
autobiography?
tell.
Wait, what's up? I heard two things.
Is that an autobiography of
That
yourself?
would be funny. Yeah, it should be. But no, this is one of my favorite writers, Dostoevsky. He wrote The Brothers Karamazov, Crime and Punishment. This is one of his other known books called The Idiot. Picked it up. Shout out to Chester County Library. They're the best. So picked it up over there, and yeah, it's so far it's pretty good. On the whole 3-page system, I'm on I think like page 40 something. So yeah, so far let's see
You
what
do 3 a day?
I'm,
3
3
pages a day?
3 pages a day.
Not bad. All right.
okay.
Yeah, I recommend it for all books. Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'll go next. So my goal is something that I've been thinking about. So I'm like on like a new whole so I'm like a new whole set of comedy and all that stuff. So like I need merch to go along with that. You know what I mean? So I feel like all the old merch that I had, it was all tied to my old jokes, you know what I mean, that I was using. But like I can still sell the merch, but it's not as funny at the show if I'm so I gotta come up with some new merch. So that's where I'm at right now. Like I'm trying to. So where we're at? It's April. It's May 5th. It's Cinco de Mayo. Hey, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Hey.
It's Cinco de
Might
Mayo.
be drunk later.
Yeah. So like I don't know. Like sometime this week, I want to come up with like some cool new ideas, and so that's my goal. I'm just speaking out there, putting out there, so I can hold myself accountable for it. You know what I mean?
In terms of merch,
Yeah, I want some new ideas, new designs. You know how I used to have like the Manifest Abundance T-shirt, but it was like abundance it was
Barry and I
abundance.
have matching T-shirts for that. We both. So yeah, at your show, you were giving out some of the
Oh yeah,
shirts,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and Barry, I was like, we could be twins with this. Barry did not accept the idea as much, but
Oh, the hamburger?
yeah,
Yeah. I was like, yeah, let me know when you're wearing this so I don't wear mine.
I'm gonna take the opposite approach. Yeah.
So yeah, that like even that show was me like, all right, I was just giving it away. I was like, I'm done with this stuff. Like I want to create some new. Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's my goal.
Yeah, nice man. I feel like you drop a lot of different things out there. A lot of your tags are conducive for merch.
Yeah, I like it that way.
I feel like what if you even break it down that further that way, where it's like, all right, look at all my tags right here. What are some things that could go well on a shirt or a pencil? Some sort of merch idea that way.
I do that. I look it up. Like I'll do that. I'll look at the jokes, the titles of the jokes, and I'll be like, all right, what's this? And I'll go through them. That's what I do to create the merch. Like that's what I'll do. Or like the funniest part or something that's real memorable. I don't know. Just try to, something.
Yeah, well, you have source material, man. I think that's a very doable thing.
Yeah. All right. Good turn, Barry.
Y'all are like good when it comes to like making like the merch and stuff to go with the joke. Cause that's like the smart shit to do. Cause it gives the people something to buy and they wear it around. And just always constantly think about you, even when you're not there anymore. It's just replaying that moment for them when they met you and heard the material. And that's just such a smart thing to do. And I need to do more of that. As a whole, we should do more of that. Because eventually we're gonna have to do that shit anyway. Start going ahead and do that shit ahead of time and get ahead of the game for somebody else who's trying to make money up here. I just want to go ahead and give you props on that. Goal. I got a few of them I'm trying to get done. Can I give you a short and a long?
You can, yeah.
Okay.
Or medium. Remember, medium is
and the medium and the middle term too. Yeah. One, I just want to be active more as far as just physically active and stuff. Just be in better shape because it helps you like when you perform, because you're gonna be on stage for like a long time moving about and stuff like that. And also, I got like older family members and stuff, and I just see how they're aging and stuff. And as far as they're getting older, they're not moving around as much because the body breaking down. So lately, I make sure I'm like at least going to the gym, moving, walking, doing something. So that way, when you get older, you want to be one of those active older people and your body not breaking down and you still be able to perform. Because comedians don't retire unless you're Steve Harvey. That's because you can't keep up. But other than that, like if you're funny for real, then you can.
Why are you going Steve Harvey like that?
You can see Steve dropping a special. You can see Steve on Netflix right now.
I'm always gonna give credit to people that
you would you? Yeah, look, I ain't said he's not funny. I just said, he quit. He don't want to quit. Everybody else, just somebody quoted said that comedians don't retire; we just die. And yeah, you can go on for. Bill Cosby was about to go on another tour. He went on an old ass tour, which means you can still keep going.
Yeah, that part's true. I do like that motto. It means they don't die, or they don't retire. They just die.
So I just want to stay healthy. So that way, I'm always active. And I just don't want to be like that old dude that's just can't do nothing. Yeah, fuck that.
You want to be older, active, in a suit, hosting Family Feud. You want to host the game shows.
I will take that Family Feud check because Family Feud is hilarious. I will be a writer for Family Feud.
That would be fun.
Who's ever writing those questions? Hilarious.
Same writers at OBO.
That's a dream job that AI cannot take.
I hear that.
Short-term goal is to create a show space platform where I can just have all my dogs come on. Anything I do comedy wise, I'm looking for. It's more of something for comedians. Like when I did my show BS with BSN, I do comedy. I'm good at it. I'm cool with my other comedian friends. Let me introduce my fan base to like my comedian homies, because you can't do all this shit by yourself. Yeah. So why not get the homies who I know are funny? Let me introduce y'all to them. So my tour, I did Fake Famous. I would go to a different city. I'm calling the homies from the city. Hey, come be on this show. I got a fan base. You got a fan base. Let's put them all together and just rock out. Right now, Certified Fools in DC. Shameless plug. With me and Dwayne Watts. So we creating a different form of stand up, but it includes the audience where they're not heckling, but they can still be a part of the show. So I want to big that up. So right now we're grabbing all the people like in DC, DMV area to come get on the show. But eventually I just want to open that up. The bigger we make the show, I can call y'all like, hey, slide down to DC real quick, because I know y'all gonna rock out, and it's a different audience. Everybody's not used to seeing like on the regular. So like, hey, let me just bring people in. So I just want to hype that up. That way I can like, hey, come get paid real quick. And I feel like the comedy club's got a pipeline. So why can't the comedian shows have their own pipeline? If I'm doing this show this week here in DC, and I got a homie in Baltimore that does a show the day after, so hey, come do my show. I'm gonna call the homie up. You can hop on this show. You get paid real quick, and you just keep everybody in rotation. That's what the comedy clubs is doing. Fuck them. Well, not fuck them. Hey, I would love to perform for you guys, by the way. If they can do the rotation, we can do the rotation too.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of times it's funny how you mentioned that, because a lot of times comedy clubs, they do that. They'll have particular people in rotation. But when we see comedians do it, I feel like it gets some of a negative connotation. A lot of times people see it as like, oh, you're just booking your friends. I feel like that's the big thing when comics constantly do it. But when you frame it in a way of like, oh, that's essentially what you're doing with a comedy club, you're getting people that you know are certified, or you know are going to make audience laughs, or just going to make you laugh, sort of thing like that. It kind of frames in a way where it's like that's not that much of a difference, or kind of sinister, for lack of better words, thing to do.
Somebody is friends with somebody. The people at the comedy club, they manager probably cool with whoever team is. That's how you get slid in or whatever. Or somebody had to get impressed. We just cutting out the middleman. We got the fan base.
When you booked, you don't complain. So when you hear comedians saying things like, "Well, they only booking their friend," I've never heard a comedian that's consistently booked complaining.
Right.
Like just be funny. In order to succeed in comedy, you gotta be funny, and people gotta like you. That's it, man. That's it.
Ability, man.
It's.
Now, would you two ever book someone that you find is funny, but you don't necessarily find them the most affable? Like you don't really like talking with them that much. Maybe for lack of better words, you maybe don't like them as much, but you recognize that they're funny. Have you ever bumped into this situation?
I ain't putting nobody on my show that I don't like.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Straight to the point.
What? I'm not putting no money in nobody's pocket I don't like.
I could have not said it better. I have to respect you in some form or fashion before I put you on my show. I either respect you as a comedian or I respect you as a person. Wait a minute, let me take that back. No, there's some people I respect as comedians, but I don't respect them as people. That motherfucker not getting on my show.
Okay.
At all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to respect you as a person first. Yeah.
I think a lot of times the comics that don't get booked on things or maybe say the things like, oh, only friends are getting booked. I think they maybe take it that way of like, oh, do they not like me? Like, I know I'm funny, but do they not like me? I think there's that component. Which, may or may not be.
That's what it is. Like that's how the world works. So I was in sales all my life pretty much, and people buy stuff from people they like and trust.
Yeah.
If I don't like you, there's a lot of things I won't do with you. Like it don't stop at comedy. Like
you're not gonna go to the park with them.
Yeah. And at the same time, if you're not getting booked with some like you're not gonna get booked on every show. It ain't all gonna happen. But guess what? That's one show. It's a bunch more shows ahead that you can get booked on.
Exactly.
Just keep shooting. That's all you gotta do. And if you're funny, for real, they're gonna reach out to you at some point. Guess what?
I always say that, man. Always like if you're what's up?
There's a specific show I was trying to get on. I would go there and introduce myself. Nobody they was like, oh, okay, nice to meet you. Yeah, I was trying to see if I can get on. All right, we'll see. Put your name on this list and we'll get back at you. You motherfuckers ain't never get back to me. Guess what I did? I booked some other shows that the motherfuckers was on. And I was like, let me go before them. I know what I'm capable of doing. And I just need you to see. There's always a way. Dog that shit. Your name gonna get out there if you're doing what you're supposed to do. And that lets you know, hey man, you funny. I actually got a show. Oh, really? You do? Oh, okay. Guess what? I did that show a couple times now.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's a nice feeling sort of thing where like you have like maybe a particular show in mind and then like maybe you're not known in the area, this X, Y, and Z reasons. You show up, whether it be their open mics or you show up just to watch, and eventually whether they see you perform or just hear about you, you get booked on that. It is a nice feeling.
Yeah, it's cool.
You ever get the one where you message somebody, they don't get back to you, but then they do see you, and then they be like, "Oh man, I forgot to get back to you, man. You were funny."
I've had that, but like they just don't address the reach out thing. There's just like, you want to do the thing, or like they reach out through a different channel where it's like, well, we had a whole communication on the Facebook Messenger, but now you're reaching out via Instagram. All right, we'll forget the other one. So some of that.
Hey man, there's many different routes to get to your destination. Like I can take Highway 30. I can take 95. I can take SEPTA. I can take Amtrak. Either way, I'm gonna get to that motherfucker eventually.
I want to give a nice shout out to 422 on this one. One thing I wanted to give one of the things I wanted to touch on with you, Barry, and Alan as well. I've been doing this new thing in terms of writing. I've mentioned on the show before. It's not necessarily my brand of comedy yet, or who knows, it would determine. I don't really speak about too much personal things from my life. Like Alan, I watch your set and it's like, oh wow, you're talking about your life.
Very great at that. Very great at that, by the way. I feel like I'm part of the family because I know exactly what be going on.
Yeah.
The kids be talking shit to him. Him and his baby mama. Bro, you're great.
And when we talk about the connection thing too, it helps with that. It's like, oh, I feel like I'm connected to you. I know what's going on in your mind because of that. You're letting people in. My style not necessarily conducive of that sort of thing, and I want to experiment on whether it's a matter of like, oh, I'm not doing it enough, or maybe that's just not the style that speaks to me. So one thing I've been practicing is for each day, maybe I should have done this one for goals. I've been writing down a family member and writing down an anecdote and 10 bullet points of something I think is funny from a situation. And I'm hoping to find something funny from it. So far, no luck really, but it's only been 4 or 5 days. Do you guys, particularly you, Barry, do you ever set any like writing goals for yourself in terms of if you're trying to aim towards whether it be more personal or talk about a different topic? Do you ever explore anything like that?
Let me just say my writing style is really lazy because I'm not as disciplined as I would like to be. First, let me go, if you mind, can I go back to you for a second, Kirk?
Oh yeah.
Fool, you funny as shit.
Oh,
When
thanks.
you do your personal shit, definitely tap in that because that role playing joke that you got, that shit is fucking genius.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
That shit, bruh. When you said that, I was like, wow, did not see that twist coming.
Yeah, that's
Hey, bro, just keep tapping in on your because your angles are hilarious.
no.
And the thing is, with us as comedians and just as people, I would say, I had this conversation with another creator that I know, and I'm like, we're so used to ourselves that we can't really gauge sometimes what we think is funny because it's just us being us.
Yeah.
And to others, that shit can be hilarious. But to us, we're just being who we are.
That's our way of life.
Right, exactly. So, but to the question, as far as writing stuff, whenever I try to like force myself to write, I can't come up with shit that I think is good enough. If I'm just going out and like living or I'm like scrolling or something like that, and I'll see like a story, then whatever I put like on Facebook or Twitter or something like that, as far as like a post or something, I can just go back and like, oh, there's something here I can probably flesh out. Or if something happened in my life, then I'm like, all right, well, let me just find the funny in this real quick. But I can't just sit down, open the book up and just be like, all right, I'm gonna talk about this today. Cause I'm not inspired by that at the moment.
Right.
I need to do something and a light switch just gets hit. It's like, oh, I see something in that. Let me just go ahead and jot down an idea and I'll just come back to that later. Or sometimes I can hear myself telling the joke because I do a lot of improv. Improv is my shit. Like improv comedy, I'm part of improv group.
You have some of the best crowd work that I've seen performed. Like I'm always at awe with that.
I just be telling motherfuckers how I be feeling at the moment, which is crazy. I don't be trying to do crowd work. You remember that one, the 62-year-old dude that pissed me off that one show in Exton?
Was it the? Oh yes, it was the one with Tommy Too Smooth as headliner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That motherfucker pissed me off, and that wasn't crowd work. That I had a long week, and I figured once I get this comedy show, I can relieve some stress. And as soon as I start the show, motherfucker want to get smart with me, and I'm like, bruh.
He was dressed very well. He had a.
I lit that motherfucker up the whole show.
Dude, that was wild.
That wasn't crowd work. I was just pissed, and that was just me being me. I was like, "How old are you, dude?" He was like 62. I'm like, "Oh, so you old enough to know when to shut the fuck up?"
That was inspiring. It's funny because that guy, he popped up at another show. I think it was the church show we did, and I didn't realize. I was like, "Oh, is that the same guy from there?"
Crazy. Yeah, he lived right. Bro, I was going to the store, and that motherfucker was packed. I was crossing the street. He was the car at the red lights.
Oh goodness!
This fool said he rolled the window down. He said, "Yeah, be careful with your surroundings." And you think the joke stopped at the show? I said, I can see your big ass from anywhere, bro. The joke's gonna fly wherever we at, bro. I'm that. When you're on my bad side, I'm gonna let it fly and forever. You think this dude? Only difference is his shit rhyme. I'm just some ruthless shit.
I appreciate the organic approach to it. It's to have that just like, oh, this is what inspires me at the time, sort of thing like that, and kind of rock out with that. I think that's just as fruitful as, like, if not more, than trying to attempt to get inspiration, sort of thing. I try to have a balance of both, sort of thing like that. But
yeah, I think that I tried to sit down and just write, like, and schedule time to write jokes. It does not work for me. It just nah, dog. Like, so what I realized is that when I would block out time to write, it'll be less time than if I just let it flow naturally, bro. Like, because I'm always in my head about my jokes.
Always.
So like I have have the premises in my head. Sometimes I'll add shit in my head and I'll go back, put it right down or in my phone or whatever. So it's like, yeah, I'm free flowing with it. And like the reason that my jokes are so much about my life, because that's how I write my jokes. Whereas like something funny happened, I'll play it in my head and I mean that's funny. And I write it down. And what I'll do is, and I think what you try to do, Kirk, sometimes I think you try to add the jokes. Sometimes I'll just start with just a story. So it'll be like, I'll be like, yo, this happened today. You know what I mean? I don't have a punch. But I know there's something. And I'll literally go to the mic and I'll just like, yo, this happened and flow at the end and get to the end and stumble. And like, I'll eventually find it. And that's how it be. That's how it be. Like, I'll just be like, yo, this funny thing happened. Let me just tell the story. So like, I tell that story. And then I get in my head too, like in my past, in my life, when I was a kid, this thing happened when I was a kid. It wasn't funny when I was a kid, but it's a crazy story. So I just tell the story from when I was a kid, this thing happened. And then eventually I'll find the metaphors and the analogies and then I'll punch it up. You know what I mean? But like, I just start
with it's like your rough draft and you just going back and just peeling out the layers. And by the time you finish it, you got the final draft of the joke.
Yeah. I think that's the key. I think it's one of the things that I was doing last night because I was so tired, came back home and I was like, oh, I got to like do the writing thing. And I just ended up just writing out like bullet points and not trying jokes for it. And by the end of it, I was like, oh, this is kind of like a wild thing in itself right here. Like it's without all the jokes or like trying to make an attempt for it. It's a wild thing. So maybe that's what I got to take notes on that. Maybe hit the mic and just try that story and see what comes out.
Yeah. You got to find a style that works the best for you.
Years after I'm still trying to find that.
And that's the thing. It's a never ending process though.
Yeah.
Because the further we go as comedians, we just evolve with whatever, we do. So I've seen some people I used to just do bullet points. Like in my head, I know how the joke is supposed to go. Like my phone, it's all titles. I know how the joke's supposed to go. I just write the title and then I'll go from there. Like I got a taxes joke. So I put taxes. So the starting line is every time I pay my taxes, I feel like a hoe paying my pimp. And I left it there. And I just figured the rest of that shit out later.
That's
because eventually the thing about jokes, bro, because everybody at this point in our careers, everybody ain't heard the joke. So the premise is strong enough to bring back later in case some new things happen. Like a taxes joke. You gotta pay taxes every year. So every time at the start of the year, everybody's knowing they gotta pay fucking taxes. And if some new shit happen, you can just add on to it. So I'm like, every time I pay my tax, I feel like a hoe paying my pimp, just to find out that my pimp is somebody else's hoe. Wow. So, because now America's giving all this money to Ukraine and Israel. So now I added on to the fucking joke that I wrote like a long time ago. And that's the beauty of writing this shit. If you keep going back, you can just keep adding the layer to it. And like Al said, it wasn't funny then when it first happened, but now you at a different point in your life, you can find the funny in that shit.
Actually writing like almost like an archive where it's like, oh, not necessarily speaking to it right now, but it's always going to be there, something to go back to.
I'll give you another example. You know how music artists be sitting on songs for like a long ass time and it's not the right time to drop that shit yet. Then later on, motherfucker drop a song 2 years later and you're like, oh, this is a banger. And then it's like, oh yeah, I was sitting on this. You had this shit all this time?
I think all that's just Timberland has done.
I'm telling you, like I think I said it on here before, Kirk. Like when I did my album, there was stories that have happened to me in my life that I've always told, but like I really didn't find the actual funny part like to the week of the album, or like it just like I don't know, like that's how I do my joke. I just tell stories. I don't know about my life. I also think that it'd be easier too once you open up and live in your purpose. And don't worry about who at the show. You can talk about yourself. You don't care no more. Once you get out that, you can start opening up.
Yeah, that could be a possibility as well. That could be.
The less of a fuck you give, the funnier your shit gets.
I agree.
I'm gonna
because I can tell you right now, Alan don't give a fuck on stage, and that shit is hilarious.
Care. I don't care. I have no boss. I have nobody. Even when I had a boss, I didn't care. But yeah, I think that's a good way to end it. Is like let the fuck you give.
Well,
And also, Kirk, when people when they realize you're genuinely being yourself, they gravitate to you more.
yeah, no, in terms of authenticity, that's definitely a part of it. You boys gonna continue to try not to give any Fs. We'll see what happens. Perhaps I'll
My
give.
bad. I can't cuss on here. Can I cuss? I don't,
Oh no,
cuss
no,
okay.
you messed up again. That's
Okay.
that was me being authentic. It was.
Oh, okay. All right. I was feeling bad. My bad. I didn't cuss a few times.
No, you're good, man. Yeah, man. Well, with that, I think that's a good place to end it off at. Barry, man, we appreciate you having on. I've had you on the list of having on for like quite some time, and I'm glad that we were able to mesh out.
It's over?
That's hour. So, what's that?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
over?
we do like an hour, little
man, time flew by. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I gotta stretch out some time to listen to the rest of these damn disc records.
Hey man, I'm going as soon as y'all hang up. I'm going right back to Not Like Us.
we might have missed something. He might
There
have
may have been a
something.
new one that just came out. I'm sure.
I wouldn't be surprised. Probably gonna drop. Somebody said if you drop one today on a Sunday, it's like today's the Lord's Day. It's like Kirk Franklin gonna be in the mix, and they're gonna drop melodies from Compton. That shit had me dying.
Melodies from Compton.
That's
nice,
crazy.
man. Before we go, Barry, is there anywhere that you'd like to let the people know where they could find you? And if you're listening, but if you haven't already discovered already, you should most definitely go watch Barry live. But is there any other places that they could check you out at?
All on my social media pages, Barry S Naylor, Naylor, all social media platforms. Check out my social media series, Mr. Barry Feels the Blues, where it's always what happens at the school, the wild things the kids say to me or things I say to them. Also, you should check out what's the other one? Barry from the Delta Counter. You never know who's going to end up at the Delta Counter. One may or may not be dropping today or tomorrow.
Ooh, very nice.
Just check my page for the whole series.
Nice, man. Nice. Alan, anywhere you want to let the people know about anything?
Yeah, man. Yeah, go download some of my albums. Still out there. You know what I'm saying? You know, if I'm at Alan Massenberg on all social media platforms, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
Also follow us on Instagram, Proper Ebonics. We be doing jokes and stuff on there.
Yeah. I saw you dropped a few more.
Yeah, I'm in my bag. I'm in my bag sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I just get inspired. You know what I'm saying? You want to do some monologue jokes.
Nice, man.
Bro, that shit's fun.
Yeah, man. Fun. We did a challenge where we had to drop a monologue joke every other day. Like I did, then Alan did, and I did, and I did, and it was a fun thing. And so we still drop it sporadically. Yeah, man. For me, I'll be doing a show at shout out to Glenn Tickle on the 17th. I don't know where the show is, but if you know where Glenn Tickle is, that's where I'll be.
That's his last name?
Glenn Tickle. Glenn Tickle. Glenn Tickle's the man. He's funny. Yeah,
I would hate to have a last name like Tickle and motherfucker don't laugh at you. Oh my god, that would be a setup for failure
all day.
Oh my god,
there's like 20 of them too. The whole family of Tickles, they're wild.
The Tickles,
the Tickle clan, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, too. Also on May 16th, I'll be at the Port Comedy Club in Baltimore. May 16th.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
Running my new set. So come through. You know what I'm saying, have fun.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I could pull up that one. 16th of this month.
Yeah, Thursday, May 16th. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's Comedy Kitchen in Coatesville. I was in Plug. May 10th, I will be in Media, Pennsylvania, with a lot of funny comedians. So make sure to follow my Instagram pages there on the flyer. May 16th is the Comedy Kitchen. I'll be hosting in Coatesville, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
You two are alum of the Comedy Kitchen. Both have performed there.
Yeah. Shout out to my barber. He's gonna line me up tomorrow. Shout to Jermaine. I'll try to schedule with him at the comedy shows. I'm like, all right, Jermaine, I feel like you know who I am. Just like, why do I have to go through paperwork? But shout to the Comedy Kitchen.
Right.
I just looked on the 16th while I'll be doing therapy. So shout out to my therapist. I'll be there if you want to tag in and hear some of the how everything went in Texas. Tap into my therapy session. We'll see.
Tell your coworkers to come to the show.
Yeah, they may get to
matter of fact. Ping them, because I'm pretty sure y'all don't meet in person. Ping them with the invite to the show.
Send them a flyer. I'm just gonna send them a photo of Lemaire's face and be like, "This is what's happening." They're gonna have a fun time though. And thanks again, Barry. This has been rad. Thank you for listening. Thank you for liking. And if your mother's still in your life, be kind to her on Mother's Day.